We've all had a bad first day at a new job, not knowing where the toilets are or how the photocopier works, but spare a thought for poor Leon Kennedy, whose first few hours in the Raccoon City Police Department would easily top them all. It's his first day that many of us have witnessed as either Leon or Claire Redfield many times since 1998. This brand new remake from Capcom combines that compelling tale with an added technical grunt and a broad reimagining of the experience to deliver the best remake of the year. The biggest compliment I can give 2019's Resident Evil 2 is that it still feels like a Resi game. This might sound blindingly obvious, but let's not forget Capcom doesn't exactly have a consistent history of delivering what many would consider a true Resi game. I'm looking at you, Resident Evil 6. In the current video game climate, it wouldn't be unthinkable for this to have become more of a bombastic action title, foregoing the tense horror of the late 90s. Thankfully, Capcom understood the essence of what makes Resident Evil 2 such a beloved title and stuck true to the source material. Cramped, dimly lit rooms and corridors, some eerie but gorgeous lighting effects, and even the nonsensical layout of the police station still remain. But there are some notable changes, not least to the control scheme. Gone are the cumbersome tank controls of early Resi games, as well as the fixed camera angles that only showed you part of the area you're in. Replacing it with a Resident Evil 4 style over-the-shoulder view and free movement risks swinging the pendulum away from scary, as you feel less restricted, but if anything, that couldn't be further from the truth. Capcom knows tension is king, and they followed this mantra throughout. Exploring familiar locations from a new perspective still feels new, even if you play the original to death. Ammunition's again almost punishingly sparse, so you definitely can't run and gun as you might want to, and the lumbering corpses of zombies bob about almost randomly, making the glorious headshot difficult to come by. You'll curse as you miss your mark for the third time, and then curse again as they lunge forward and have a little snack on your neck. And if that wasn't enough to ramp up the tension, the delightful Mr. X has been given a promotion, bagging in more screen time. Now, from his first appearance onward, he'll relentlessly pursue you around the police station. You'll have to quickly outrun him when he pops up and more than likely go and find a safe room to cower in until he gets bored and leaves. Not feeling quite so heroic now, are we, Kennedy? True, sometimes it gets repetitive, but frankly, no more so than any of the games with the features like hunting for keys, and it definitely makes you less cocky about playing a game you thought you'd mastered 20 years ago. 2 decades of progress hasn't just afforded the Resident Evil 2 remake with a new control scheme though. Given the power of current hardware, Capcom could really go to town on sprucing up the remake, and boy did they do a good job. The way the lighting works so cleverly to focus your attention on what it needs to is a masterstroke. Not to mention that everything looks so clean and polished up close, and even the zombies and the gore they distribute looks great. The lickers in particular are as detailed and stunning as they are fear-inducing. Carefully plodding around the police station feels creepy, as you never know what awaits you around every corner. The offices and rooms feel used and lived in. Dust and cobwebs, as well as assorted discarded junk, clutters the attic spaces for a sense of realism. This is in a contrast to the clinical clean lab areas with their white walls and bright functional lighting. Every area feels more realistic, a perfect representation and reimagining of the locales from the 90s. The key to building a good remake is enhancing the original, while maintaining the essence of what made it so popular. It's a delicate balance that some remakes get very wrong, but Resident Evil 2 manages to hit that glorious sweet spot that means both newcomers and seasoned veterans alike adored it. The freedom of movement, the up-to-date visuals and sound effects, and an engine that ran everything smoothly ticked all the boxes, both for those unfamiliar with the game and those who loved the original. Ultimately, everyone who plays it will walk away saying that is what it should feel like to play a Resident Evil game. There was so much riding on this remake, so much love for the original, so many opportunities for Capcom to mess things up, but they didn't. Instead, they carefully and respectfully delivered a resounding homage to the 90s classic and made it relevant to a modern audience. Resident Evil 2 was hands down the best remake of 2019, and we look forward to the Resident Evil 3 remake now with an added sense of hope and optimism.